let's do a day in the life of working the card deck. A totally typical Monday morning. I say typical very lightly because I live aboard a 41-foot sailboat with my family here in the San Juan Islands of the Pacific Northwest. You know, as far as not totally normal it is to live on board a sailboat, I do a lot of normal things. I have so many videos, if you're not familiar with the card deck, that will show you what they are. So I didn't go straight into my card deck in the morning. I had my morning pages cards already set out. I started using index cards again for them because I'm out of pages in my traveler journal. So I'm just running with that, and it's working out just fine so far. I have my Christmas countdown card first, which is just cute and fun. And then I'm going through some of the priority cards that I had set up the night before. Now, I don't always set up my card deck the night before. Sometimes, like this morning when I finished the video that I'm actually editing, sometimes you just leave it kind of messy, and the next morning you shuffle through it and it feels good to organize it either at night or in the morning. So those are priority cards that are up at the top, and they're also more of the 12-week year card. I also created a single use card that you saw there just on the back of the countdown card that I recycled at the end, but it was just a nice way to collect information and to have it set out later in the day as I was working on it as just a reminder and a focal point saying, this is what you're working on. Don't get distracted. Then I go through some of the day cards. So those are the vision board cards, the affirmation cards, that type of thing that just puts me in the right mindset. I was able to do my morning pages that morning, and then I was going to the gym to exercise after this. My weekly rhythm card is just a nice reminder for me. I was on a Monday, so that's all about setting the emotional tone, so I made sure that everything the night before was ready to go. I stayed up late making sure all of that was ready, and then I also really refined my strategy too for the week with as far as my goal of becoming a better YouTuber goes. Then I just kind of review again what it is that I'm going to be tackling throughout the day. Tackling is not the right word to use. In fact, in my morning pages, that was one of the things that I reflected on, was the words that I chose to use. When in doing so, it was opportunity. So when I was thinking and I was writing it out in my morning pages, I need to go to the post office today. I don't like using the word need to because I was actually really excited to go ship those things. And I was saying I need to do laundry later on. And I was like, ugh, I don't like that word either because I get to do laundry. And while laundry might not be my favorite thing, it's a good opportunity to just focus on an attitude of gratitude. And so I'm really, really trying to use the word opportunity instead of I need to, just because I think it has a more positive connotation. And if you're wondering, I watched the Office episode with Pam and Jim, and they go to the couples counseling. You just have to watch it. They use the word opportunity a lot. And my boss, when I was in hospitality, used to use the same thing. Whenever there was an issue, they'd say, we have the opportunity to focus on this. It's just funny. So I reviewed the cards for the day. I shuffled all of the cards that I had already completed or was about to complete over to the next day. This is my Plant the Garden card. When I create my Live Aboard card deck that's more specific to this new lifestyle that we're leading, I will have something more specific around sprouting. Bless you.
That's how you look when you get off a plane? That's how you say hello?
I did have a request that I use some form of really visible indication of the cards that I'm working for the day and then how they are shuffled. So I'm adding this blue painter's tape onto the card so you can see what cards were set for the day. I'm going back and adding them to the cards that I already shuffled, and then to the rest of the ones for the day. So you can see which cards I worked, which ones where they went after I finished them, and then I'll share with you if I skipped any cards. So this is a look midday at what my card deck looks like. The one at the very end is just that countdown card that I put in front of blank so that I can use it as scrap paper later on, which I've already used. I pulled out the card that I needed to focus on first, just as far as my time management goes, and that's that creating the card deck that I needed to ship for the day. Each of my days, I've worked out time blocks. Now, I don't always get this perfect, and I like doing it within Google Calendar because I can change the time blocks, but I've set them to repeat weekly, and then as I go throughout the day, and I don't always touch it. It's if it's a day where I have more actions to do than normal, or I don't have as much time, that type of thing, I'll adjust the time blocks just so I know in my mind when I have the right time to do the right actions. How exciting. I had the best time cutting these out. So I had told somebody I would ship them a card deck that I had used in a video as a teaching tool. They're the 4x6 version. And then I realized that it was a teaching tool, and part of it was like a proof that I had printed, so there were some cards missing, and I wanted to make sure that I added some additional blanks and meal cards. When I was preparing it, I got some cool ideas to try and help others get printed card decks. That's something that you're interested in, but it was just a really fun exercise, and I'm excited to ship it. I'm a little nervous because I have no idea how much this is going to cost, because again, it's just an exercise to see like how to do it. How much it's going to cost? Is it even feasible? I don't know, because there's so much customization to these cards. So after I finished with the item that I needed to ship, I then went ahead and did the more tidying type cards. After I tidied, I then went on back to my 12-week year goal card, and that was working on scripting a video that I have coming out on doing a overview of setting up the 12-week year planner. And so I scripted that out using index cards with main points so that I could chat like this on that video. And since I finished those 2 big batch items, I then went ahead and went through the card deck again to shuffle some items and see what else I needed to work on. These are these weekly cards that I'm getting into. I was able to wash the floor, the cabinets, so those are going to get shuffled to the next day, but I did not clean the windows outside because it was raining. So for this, you can write skipped on the bottom and then write the date next to it. So that item gets shuffled to the next week, and I'm not going to think about it again until Monday. I use a monthly card so that I have a reference of when the next Monday is, so I can shuffle the windows, floor, cabinets cards to the next Monday. So here you can see the blue tabs are now there for that next Monday. Because I'm going out to ship the item now outside of the boat, and I'll come back later, I put the next card that I'm going to prioritize right on top of the card deck, so when I do come back, I know I'm going to do laundry next and not sit down at my computer and get lost, because I want to be able to do laundry when it's still daylight out. I set my card deck in my bag on the counter, and I won't think about it again until I come back. I've never been so excited. I just sent my first package. I definitely don't want to show our address. I don't want to show you how much it was, but it was so fun, and it was so easy to do it. I was going to go for a walk because that took me no time at all, and I wasn't expecting that, but it's crazy windy here, which I kind of knew, but now that I'm here and I see just how windy it is, I don't want to go outside and walk. Plus, I'm going to do laundry later, so it's not like I need my steps. That's what I'll tell myself. Because it started pouring rain, I deviated from the plan, and I made sure the afternoon dishes were done before I went out to do the laundry. I didn't touch the cards again. I just mentally said, let's go ahead and switch that around. I just want to point out that I didn't touch my cards again until later in the evening after I did the laundry, the afternoon dishes, spot mopping, those type of things. Then towards the end of the evening, I went over the card deck and shuffled some of the items that I had gotten to. So I'm not constantly in my card decks. One thing I didn't get on video is that for my organizing kitchen cabinets and drawers, I've modified that, as you can see, and I organized our homeschool cabinet that I'm using now for card items that I'm testing out. And then if you see, I don't know if you noticed, but on my fourth divider, I didn't have a memory set down for November, and I found one day from last year that I did the same thing for in the divider. I went back this morning to add a memory from the 4th of November onto the divider, and I have no idea what we did on the 4th. I don't know why I didn't add a memory. I don't know what we did. And so the only thing I could think of that day was that I made pancakes just based off of what the previous day had said and what the next one was. So I added that. So here you can see I'm not putting any order to the cards at the end of the night. I was in the middle of running flashcards with my youngest, and so I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to my cards. And so this morning when I went into the card deck, it still looked like this. It was totally fine. I just shuffled things and got on as normal. And here's what you see at the end. The 4x6 versions got shuffled to the next day, and the movie card got shuffled to Friday so that I can work on it then when it's more of like an indulging type of fun day anyway. Here you see all of the blue cards and where they got placed. The one at the end is a countdown that I put in blanks. The other ones are the weeklies. And then the one that's kind of in the middle was that movie card that I shuffled to Friday when I know I would have a chance to work on it. I hope that was helpful. I'll do more of these if they are. Thanks for hanging out with me and checking out what a Monday looked like working the card deck.